Hi everyone, by the end of this tutorial you will have a solid understanding of materials in Blender. You will learn how to create your first material, the most used nodes, texture painting and vertex painting, and of course PBR materials, and as a bonus, how to add a video texture. In this series of tutorials we are creating this cutscene. How to make your first material. It may seem complicated, but worry not my friend. We will go step by step until we make our first material. To create a new material, select an object, then go to Material tab and press New. This is the material name. This plus and minus icon is to add a new material or delete a selected material. Browse material, well, it's to select a material from a list of all materials you have created in this project. These are the material options for the principal PSDF. If you press on principal PSDF, you can select different type of materials like glass. To view your material, go to Shading Viewport. Go to Editor Type and choose Shader Editor. Here is the principal PSDF node with all its options. Like in the Material tab, they are the same but from the editor, because here you can add more nodes and make it more complicated and of course more beautiful. Base color is well for the base color of the object. Metallic is for metal and iron object, where 0 is not metal and 1 is 100% metal. Roughness is for the smoothness of the surface of an object. The smoother it is, the more reflective to light it is. So 0, it means 100% the surface is smooth, therefore it's 100% reflective of the light. And 1, the surface is not smooth, therefore it's not reflective at all. Alpha is for transparency, where 0 is transparent, 1 it's not transparent. Subsurface is the light bouncing inside an object, like in hand and foot. Emission is for the emissive object, like the light bulb. And with that, this is all the principal PSDF options. One thing to add, whenever there is a 0 and 1 value, we can represent them with black and white colors, where black is 0 and 1 is white. And the different shades of gray in between are the different values between 0 and 1. And just like that, we can create a black and white texture with different values of gray, which represent the metallic or roughness and formation, which will give our material a realistic look. So Shift A and go to Converter. And here you have this color ramp. Color ramp is one of those nodes that you will use a lot, okay? This basically take a gradient from one color to another color, okay? So in this case, it's taking this black color to this white color. Like let's say, let's do it like this. Let's make it purple. It will be from purple to white, okay? So you can take any color here. In that case, I want to just to show you the black and the white, okay? This linear is basically how it's interpreted. Linear, it means like it's black and it gets white with time. But if you go to, for example, to constant, it's either black or white. Let's make it linear again. Okay? This factor is basically at 50%, so it will be around here. But if it's 1, it will be showing this color. If it is 0, it will be showing this color. Okay? So let's get it back to 0.5 and let's link it to base color. Okay? As you can see now, because we have made it metallic, so let's take this off a little bit. Because of that, like now it's in the middle. It's not really white, it's not really black. So let's make it pretty white. If we make it 1, or let's make it 0 to make it black. Okay? Let's put it like that, in the middle again. Okay? Let me show you one functionality that you are going to use a lot. Press Ctrl, then Shift, Ctrl and Shift, then press on this one. Now you can see that we are linking this directly to the surface. So 0 is black, white is like that, is 1. Okay, now let's take this back again. Let's put it like that. So let's try it with the noise. Okay, Shift A, go to texture and pick noise texture. Okay, Control Shift and press on this to show it. Okay, so this is a noise texture. A noise texture is basically you create a noise on the surface. Okay, so you can scale it to make it like that. You can add some details to it, for example like that. You can make it less rough and more apparent. You can give it some waviness if you want to give it some waviness. You can have like hybrid, like you can have all these options, right? So let's leave it like that. Okay, so now let's do Control Shift and press on this to make it apparent. Go here and link this to roughness. It is pretty reflective because if you press on this, you see this is pretty reflective. So let's go back to FBM and just put it like that. And now you can see how it looks. There is some places that are reflective, some places are not reflective, and this is how it shows, right? Let's just put this outside actually, and just put this actually in the factor here. As I said, like for this one, 0 is black, 1 is white, right? So if we take this factor here, we will have this color instead, because like it's taking this value, like where it was black it is 0, so it is taking this, and where it was white it is 1, so it is taking this, and the value in between it is a different shade of gray, which is like this. And because of that, even though that this is basically taking these values, we can actually exaggerate this. How? We can just take this and make it more black, for example, in certain places. And now we are making this pretty black in these places, pretty white in these places. So let's put it in roughness. It does not show a lot, but you can see it a little bit. Like, see, this is better actually. It's showing better. Let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Let's like leave it like that, or let's actually put this in roughness and leave it like that. And let's take this, Control C, Control V to copy it, and let's do a bump. Let's write bump, okay? And we put it on height, right here, okay? And we create a normal. Look at that. And this is what I meant by like when you do a normal map, it's faking depth. Like it shows like there is a lot of bumps, but in reality this object is still with 0 bumps. But because we have linked it to this, like this high value right here is like a black and white. So if we put it here, it's taking this, and now we can make it a little bit less strong, like this, for example, and we can have it looking like this. Like here, for example, why did we do this bump? Well, because the normal map here is actually a vector value, which is this blue. So if we take this color and we put it here, you will see that it is giving us something, but it is not correct. It's like pretty wrong. Even if we take the alpha, for example, the same thing happened. So to do that, to convert this black and white information to vector, we added the bump node. The bump node will take this black and white information, take it on high or on strength. For me, I prefer to put it on high because I want to modify the strength, and convert it inside, like it will convert it to a vector, and when we link it, it will give us this. And I prefer to control the strength. Okay, green for shaders, blue for displacement and normal, and gray for black and white information. We talked about the bump. Let's talk about the mapping. So if you choose anyone with vectors like this, and you press Ctrl T, you get this. So what is this? Let's do this just to show it to you. So what is this? This is basically taking your object, and precising where to put that noise texture. So for example, this noise texture is right here, right? So if we start modifying this, it will change location. It will rotate. If we scale it up or down, it will change. We can change location. So this, it will take either a generated map, UV map, or it will take your UV map. If you have a UV map, it will take your UV map and use it. Usually, either use the generated one, which is like the one generated by Blender, like the UV generated by Blender, or the UV you created, or sometimes the object. Usually you will took the UV, and because of that you can like change this. You can change the rotation of your map, of this map, like whatever you are linking this to, you will change the location. So this is linked to this, then if we start moving this, we are moving this texture, because this basically is telling Blender where to put your texture. Now let's talk about the gradient node. If you Shift A, then search and press and search for gradient texture, you will put it right here, okay? And Control Shift and press on it. As you can see, nothing is happening. There is no gradient that shows. Why is that? Well, because Blender does not really know where to put that gradient. As we said before, to know where to put a texture, Blender needs the UVs. And you need to precise on what UVs, like what part of UVs is gradient black and other is gradient white, for example. And because of that, because Blender does not know, it does not show anything to you correctly. So, how to fix that? Press on it, then Control T. You will have this nodes. This node is basically a way to tell, like you take the texture coordinate of this gradient and then you map it on your UVs. So basically using this, we will tell Blender where the gradient will start, where it will finish it. Okay, so we are going to use the generated UVs that come with the board right here, and then let's just move it a little bit, and here it is. Like here is the gradient. The gradient now is starting from top to bottom, right? So the top will be pretty reflective, the bottom will be not pretty reflective. If we put it like on reflections, like if we put this on reflections, let's say here in place of this half will be pretty reflective, this half will be not pretty reflective. Okay, and I like that. Let's do it like that. Actually, I want this half to be a little bit more reflective, so let's move it a little bit, and then just enough. Okay, like that. And now it looks pretty nice. Now if we put it like, if you Control Shift and press on PSDF and we put it here on roughness, let's put it on roughness. Now this top is pretty reflective and the bottom is not pretty reflective. Like the top is pretty reflective, the bottom is not that reflective. And the way we did this, even though that it made this looks to you as a simple thing we did, like we showed the UV where to put it, etc. Let's Control Shift here. This is actually creating a mask. What we did here is basically create a mask. We said that this part don't be any reflective, but this part be reflective. And if we mix different nodes, like if we use the mix nodes, we can actually mix nodes that will be appearing only on the white area or only on the black area. So for example, just to show something, let's take off this. Let's put the bump back, okay, to have some bump, and just take this up, take this down. Let's take this two right here, put him here, and just take this and do mix. You will see that there is mix shader and mix normal. Okay, so like Shift A, go to shader, you will find mix shader. Mix shader, it will mix between shaders, but here we need to only mix between colors. So let's Shift A and search for mix colors, and here it is, mix colors. So 1 and 2. Let's put this one here. So this is what we'll do. As we said before, 50% is from A and B. 1, it will be just the bottom. 0, it will be just the top. Okay, so let's say we want to create a mask. So a mask will do what? A mask will do what? Like let's say, like let's put this black value, it will be 0. So it will be only this white color. And this white value, it will be 1. So it will be this bottom color. So basically we have created a mask like that. Like let's put it on factor and just put this. And now what happens is this. Look down here. It's basically taking this gradient right here. Bottom was white, so it is taking the bottom value. The bottom was white, so it is 1. So it is taking the bottom value, and the top is black, so it is taking A, which is this color that we can change it to anything. And now we have something looks like that. Well, there is something else that I forgot to talk about. Not forgot, but it's pretty useful, which is the Shift A If you go to textures, you have different textures here that you can try, but another one that I like is the Voronoi texture. So put it right here just to show you this, and put this. Let's take a color ramp and just put it right here, and just to exaggerate the effect. Okay, so if you put it at 0, it will be showing the effect exactly, but if you do this, look how it looks. It looks like a little points, right? So you can scale it down to have it like that. Details, roughness, you can even change this to Manhattan, which make it look like this. And you can change the random from like it's 100% random to 0, which will make it follow basically the UVs. Even if like no, it's just following whatever she can. But if you do this, like let's take this and just connect it to vectors too, it will actually be following this. So if you change this, it will change it. You can control it the way you want. Okay, you can actually just go to this and make it like these lines, or you can go to this one and make the scale a little bit up, and like let's put all this to 0 again, 0, 0, 0, and we have it now looking like this. Let's scale it up, can add more details, roughness, and let's show it like that. Okay, and you can control it, and you can take all this, and instead of like doing this, like you can use this as a bump. So let's make copy of this bump. Let's take it off. Let's put the bump right here. Let's put this in height, and let's put this in normal. And now if we connect this, we have this, which look pretty nice. In my vision for this one, I wanted really to make it with little cubes like that, and those cubes are like reflective ones, so that mess with the reflection. So the ball will not be 100% reflective as it is like that. Like it will not be uniformly reflective. Okay, and to use that, I searched on Google and I found this. This is perfect of what I want, because as you can see, this black would be 100% reflective. This white will be like 1, so it will be not reflective at all, and this value here, it will be like gray, so it's in between, so it will be in between, like not 100% reflective and not reflective at all. And this is exactly what I wanted. Okay, I provided all my textures and stuff in the description below, so you can take it. First of all, let's check UV unwrap that we did here. UV editor, enter edit mode, and you can see it's basic one. I actually wanted to show you something about UV unwrapping this. I think the last time I did not show, I forgot, so let me show this to you. Let's go to top view, go here, just using the knife tool, which is this, or by pressing K. Let's make something like that. Like let's give it this, then this, and this, like that. Then enter to confirm. Okay. Then let's take 2 to go to edge mode. Let's select this and Control E and mark a seam. Okay. Now let's go to the bottom view. As we said, 9 to get the opposite. We are now on the top view. So if we press 9, we go to the bottom, and we can see nothing because it's under this. So let's isolate this by pressing slash, and again let's go to the bottom view. As you can see, we are now in the bottom view. Let's enter edit mode, and let's make it like this so we can see it better. And again, the knife tool with K, and let's go for it. Like this, like this. K and Control E, mark a seam. Okay, now let's take one, like this one for example. Why did I choose this one? You may ask yourself. Well, if you press 7, if you press slash and you go back to normal, this actually may show a little bit, so I want something from behind. I want to make a seam from behind so it does not show, and Control E, mark a seam. Okay, now if I do A and select everything, U, or go to UV and choose unwrap. We have unwrap it like that. Now if you go here, nothing really shows, so let's just take actually this off, clear. Do we have another one from bottom too? So should be not, so no. So let's again and unwrap, and those small right here. So let's choose something close to a rectangle, like this one, for example. Go to edge mode by pressing 2, or selecting it from here. Then S, then Y, then press 0 to make it straight. Then here to S, Y, 0, here to S, X, and 0, S, X, and 0. Okay, now this is a full rectangle. Let's go to face mode by pressing 3, or by pressing this. Now select everything, or select like this island, like this one, without these two. So press L and select this and press on this one. Okay, then right mouse button and choose follow active quad, the active face. Okay, this one, and here we go. Now we have it straight like that. When it's straight like that, it will make our like UV unwrapping a lot better and a lot easier. Okay, I wanted to show you this because sometimes the UVs are not really straight. They are a little bit stretched, but when you do this, it actually fixes that stretch. So put this in your mind, choose one and turn it quad, then make others follow that one and make them all quads. Okay, so now we can go back to our shader editor. Now let's go to this. Let's actually go to this. Here it is, and open it in Blender like that. Just release here. Now we have that cube assigned to this texture image. Okay, now you can see this texture image, as we said before. Here is the name. Here are other elements that are already in our Blender project, like the checker, and now we added this cube, so now even this is here. This to assign a fake user if you are not using this to duplicate it, and this to open a new one, and this is to delete it. I usually here work either with linear or closest. It's a way to interpret. I prefer closest. And because this is a color and this is a color, like if we assign it right here, it will be like that. But we are not going to assign it to the base color, of course, because this I want it to be a reflection map. Therefore, I am going to put it with roughness. But roughness take black and white information. Okay. So, and this is a color space sRGB, and this is a color one. So we need to tell that even though that this is using only black and white values, but because it's a color and it's an sRGB, this will be considered as colorful, and it will create some artifact when you work with it. It will not look very well. So to fix that, go to sRGB and choose it to non-color. Now, of course, we can't see it very well. Like we don't know. Like it seems here not reflective. It's not showing very well. So if you activate the node wrangler, like go edit, performance, go to add-ons, be sure that node wrangler is activated. You can Control plus Shift and press on this. It will connect it directly to the output, and you can see it. And as you can see, it is very, very huge mess. Why is that? Because actually Blender, even though that we have shown him the UVs, so he kind of know where to put this, but he does not know how we want it. Okay, he just put it as close as he think that we want it. And to fix that, or probably to control that, we need a tool or nodes that actually allow us to control how this map is interpreted. And to do that, we need actually press Control, choose this node, and then press Control T, and you get this. It is actually texture coordinate with mapping, these two nodes. Of course, you can Shift A and search for them and connect them as you want. It's totally possible, but as a shortcut, Control T to get these two nodes connected together with the vector here. What this does basically, it will take your texture coordinate, either based on UV or the generated UVs. Like if it's a basic mesh and it have generated UVs, you can use those generated UVs, or you can use your own UVs. Like in this case, we are using our own UVs, and connect this to a mapping, which means allow you to control this texture coordinate, and all this is connected to your vector here. So now we can control how this is interpreted. Like for example, we want this to be a little smaller. So instead of like writing 2 here, then 2, then 2, to have it like that, you can either in scale, you can either go press on the top one and hold and just keep selecting until you select them all and choose. Like you can make it 5, for example, to put it like that. Or you can choose Shift A to create a new node and search for value, and you have input value. And now you can connect this to this, and you can put any value. Like let's place it 5, for example, directly. And now we control it like that. Okay, so let's put it as a 5. Now let's put this back, and you can see, like if you go out edit mode, now we can see it like that, and it looks a lot better. Okay, but what if you want to exaggerate this effect, even though that it looks good, like it already looks amazing, but let's say you want to exaggerate this effect more. So you can just take this and Control A, go to converter and color ramp. Bam. If you do this, let's Control Shift and press on this to show it. You can see that this is controlled to the factor, and as we said, factor will take 0, it will be black, 1, it will be white. Okay, it will either take this or this. But because we want this to be followed by this, so we can control it like that. And you can exaggerate. Okay, like you can make it a little bit exaggerate like that, or just leave it like it is, or just exaggerate it. That's a little bit exaggerated. Now it looks like that, which is a little bit more exaggerated. Okay, and now we have created this beautiful effect. Let's select them all, then Ctrl J, and you can put them inside this. If you press now, like you can move it. If you press N, you will get this, which will allow you to label this. So like choose this, and let's label it like that. Just give it a name, which is the roughness. Okay, now it's right here. You can control the color of it, like you can choose what color. Let's just give it like a something going to the black one actually. So something that so it's black and white, and you can change the label size. So let's give it like that, and let's leave it like this, and here we go. And now I want this more than that. I want it to have some, like here it will be this color for example, but at the edges, like if we move at any edges, these edges will be always differently colored, like in the sea. Like when you are seeing the sea from away, you will remark that it is very blue, but when it closes, it's changed colors for some reason, and that's because of an effect. Call it, let me, I actually forgot the name of it, I always do. So search, it is this effect, the Fresnel effect. Okay, so you can actually do this. Let's put this right here, and let's Control Shift and click on it. It will give you this. It will be here a color and here a lighter color. Okay, but I want actually to exaggerate this, or probably I want to have some control on this. So what do I use? Of course, the color ramp. So let's take off this, and let's Shift A, choose color ramp. And now what I want to actually mix it with this. Okay, so I want it this. Do you see all this? I want it to have it here. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. What do I want right now is this color. It's uniform, as you can see. It's not uniform because we have this reflections. Okay, but what I want is like to have this Fresnel effect, where the outside will be always different color than the inside. To do that, we will link it with the base color. Okay, like we can do it like this. It will be black and white, and we can actually just here choose different color. Like let me just show you something. Like if I go to this and Control C, we copy it, and then if you go to this, Control V, we can press it, and if we do now this, it will give us this, and we can here just make it a little bit darker like this, and this white we can make it a little bit lighter like this, and we will have this, and we can control the effect more. We can do it like that. We can just push this a little bit and have it more, and we can control it like that. And now we have it looking like that. So this is the base color. Let's select it, Ctrl G, and let's just, and let's name it base color. Okay, and let's leave it like that. And now actually let's do another thing. Let's press N, let's choose this, and let's give it color. Let's give it some purplish color, just to say this is the base color. Now let's do another thing. Even though that this is looking already nice, but I actually don't want the surface to be as smooth as it is. Of course, we have already modified the smoothness with this. we made some areas pretty reflective and some areas not reflective at all. But I actually want to have more details. I want to add bumps and denters and stuff like that. I want it to look like it is pretty high dense mesh, even though that it's simple. So how do I do that? Of course, with either normals or displacement, like displacement. In that case, I want to use the normal. So what should we do? We're actually going to use the same map. So we're going to take these two, copy, and copy. Okay, and then because they are going to follow the same base, like I want them to be in the same place as this, so they actually needs to be having the same coordinate. Like they need to have all this modification here applied to this one too. And then what we are going to do, we are going to link this black and white, it's non-color, with this black and white map that we have created, this one, to a normal one. But of course this is a blue one, so it needs to be, so here it needs a vector information. So we can just go like this and put a color or a black and white and put it inside it. You see, it gives you some kind of result, but this result is pretty bad. It's not what we want, okay? So what do we do? Well, there is actually a node. This node is Shift A. It's the bump, BMP, hey, bump vector, okay? So this bump node, what does it do? It basically take the black and white information and turn them to a vector information. And to do that, you need to take your color, which is black and white, it needs to be black and white, and put it in height. And then you link this to normal. And it suddenly looks like that. And as you can see, it looks like it has this information. We will smooth this by just controlling this basically, until we get it to a point where it is like this. Okay, let's just, and then take the strength down to 0.3 or 5. And just strengthen it down. And now as you can see, it looks like it is dented with this information, right? And this is exactly what I wanted to show. Let's make it a little bit less here. Just a little bit like that. And we have done all this now. And this is now looking like this. So this is our normal. So let's just, like if you take all this and just move it, it will extend automatically. So let's take all this and just put it like this. And let's choose it, Ctrl J, and press N, and let's name it normal map. Normal map. Bam. And let's make it a little like color, and let's make it a little bluish, just to show that it is a normal map. Okay, there we go. Now we have all this information. There is one last thing that I wanted to add, which is like now for now it's looking pretty nice. I love it. I think we have done an amazing job. It is this one here. Even though this is getting the job done, but I wanted to show you one more thing, one last thing that we can do here to just make this look a lot more beautiful, which is basically how about creating a gradient. Basically, this bottom part should have some reflections of this controller right here. And that reflection will mix with this. Of course, we can use the bounce, like if we go to EV, and it probably, it's bouncing on it a little bit. Let's go here, let's choose EV, and here, right, I think you can see that it's already having a reddish color right here. But I want to exaggerate this effect more. So how do I do that? Well, all we have to do is basically create a gradient and to this point, and then give that gradient a certain color, right? I know that you are probably thinking we will take a color ramp with it, but let's do it. So Shift A, go to search and write gradient, heading, gradient texture. Bam. Now if you press on it, it will give you this. It looks like nothing. Where is the gradient? It's right here actually. Why is that? Well, the same problem that we had here. The gradient does not know where to start and where to end. It does not know, Blender basically does not know how to put it. He just put it here. He showed the UVs. He's probably saying that you probably need it here, but we actually need it from back, from the bottom. So what do we need? Well, we need another map. Of course, you can think that we can just do this and you have all right to do that. But the problem here is it's not giving us the effect that we want. And if we modify them here, we will modify all this with it. And this two I really like. I don't want to modify. So we need to create a new one. Control, choose it, the node, then Control T. Now we have this again. And this time, let's go to Y. Oh, something happened. Okay, here it is. It's going from the bottom. Okay. Now it's already given us the effect that we want, right? But as I said before, if I want to control my map, what should I do? Yes, I need to create a color ramp. So let's go for a color ramp. You can go to converter or search for it and just put it here. Now if you do this, you can control it how it shapes. Actually, I want just the bottom to be a little bit like this. I want it to be something like that. And you can move it. So if you are moving it, it's moving too fast, but press shift and hold to make it move slowly. We move it on X a little bit. So I want it to be like that. And I want this to go down a little bit actually. Yeah, like it will be like this. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Good, good, good. Now what do I want? I want to mix this with this color. I want the bottom part to have this color and the top to have this color. So what should I do? Well, we can use the mix color. Actually, there is two mix nodes. If you go Shift A, you can go to texture or shader. If you go to shader, you will find that there is this mix shader. As you can see, it's green here. What does that mean, green? Well, it takes shaders, so it takes something like principal PSDF or the glass or the emission node. So it takes a shader in one, then another shader in B, and mix between them. If 0, it will be the top. If 1, it will be the bottom. But what we want is actually just to mix between these two colors. So we don't need this mix one. We need the go to color, then mix color. This take two colors. It will take color A and color B and mix between them. Okay. So let me show you something. If we put this at B, okay, and then we can or this. What does this does? Well, at 1 it will take this color. At 0 it will take this color. So if we mix this with it, what will happen? This one is black from the bottom and white in the top. So at 1, which is this white, it will be the bottom, so it will be this part. And at 0, which is the black, it will be this color. Okay, so what we do now, just take this and just put this as a factor. And now look at this. This is white and this is red. So now we can actually do this. Let's put this right here and then this right here. And you can see it's giving us the effect that I need. What it's doing basically, as I said, it's taking this black and white color, and where it's black, the bottom, it is 0, so it is taking this color, and where it is white, so the top, it is white, so it is 1, so it's taking this color. Let's do this again, and now let's give this some reddish color. Something going to this, but of course the gradient is too much, as you can see. So we can actually control it using this. We need just a little bit from the bottom, and this is it basically. We need just some effect, something like that. And instead of this, let's give it something going to purplish red, so something like that. Here we go. Now it has this color. So let's do this. Control G, then N, and let's name it. Let's name it the gradient. And let's give it some reddish color. Okay, just to show it. And let's use this gradient and let's make it big. This one, let's make it big. There we go. And now this is what we have done. And voila. Now we have created our first material. Let's make our first glass object. We go to the glass material right here. We have the glass material. So one, you have the calculation method. I usually leave it at GGX or at multiscatter. I prefer the multiscatter GGX because it gives me better results. But sometimes if it's not giving me what I want, I try the otherwise. Okay, this one here is the color. You can give it whatever color you want. White, blue, dark. You can do whatever you want. Okay, let's get it back to white. The roughness is basically how much the surface of this glass is smooth. If it is 0, it is pretty smooth and you can see 100% through it, and it reflects the nature 100%. Okay, like you can see it's reflecting what's around it, like the ball right here, the screen right here. And if it is like roughness 1, it is not reflecting anything. The index of reflection here, it depends on what type of glass it is. And to know what type of glass you want, you can actually search on Google on different index of reflection of glass to see what you want. I usually just leave it either at 1.45 or 1.50, whatever works the best for me. Okay. Normal is if you want to this glass to have like some scratches or some bumps and stuff like that. Like you want to add more details to this glass. Okay. Now I am at the cycle GPU. I probably thinking like why it's rendering so fast. Well, because I'm activating denoising at 15, so it smooth it a lot. Like if I don't activate denoise, it need to calculate a lot. But if I do denoise and then precise like 50 or 20 or 100, usually it's good. It will be very fast and very nice. For the moment, this glass is pretty see-through for me. Even though that it is 1, I put it like at 1 of roughness, I still can see the background. Like I can see the joystick below it. So I don't want that. I want it to be more rough. I don't want to see through it. One way to do it is actually to go to solidify modifier. Like go to modifier, then choose generate solidify. Why is that? Because you give it some thickness, and when you give it some thickness, it became more thick, therefore it will be more reflective. Like you can go here and just make this like 0.02 for example. You can see it become more rough, and you can even now change this a little bit because we change the type of magnet glass to make it more rough like that. I pretty much like it like that, like when it's pretty white this way. And then I want actually to have an A here and B here, right? So let's go to this. Let's go actually first to here in the shader, Shift A, go to texture and choose image texture. And from here, it's this here, A. Let's choose it. So if we put this at color, you can see this, like it does not look very well. It looks pretty bad actually. And of course you may think right now like, oh, of course, because the engine Blender does not know really where to put this texture, how to put it. Like he have the UVs, but he still does not know how to scale it, how to rotate it and stuff like that. And we can use the Control T and use the previous method. But actually there is a different method that we are going to use here, because in the previous ones we kind of had like a repeated pattern. Like it was either those cubes or some noise that it is procedural, so it was not something precise that we want. Like for the moment I want the A to be exactly in this sphere. Okay, so how to do that? Go to UV editor, and here you can see that you have nothing. Like you have all this, right? Like if you enter edit mode, you can see them all if you are activating this. And of course if you are not, be sure to choose everything and then do disable. Okay, then choose this to have them showing all the time. Now go to here and choose A button. Okay, now you have the A button, and now you can understand what your Blender is doing. Basically it's taking this faces right here and putting them where each is. Like here it is black, so he's putting black, so he is following this, he's like putting A big and following this. So what do we need right now is actually to change this. Actually, after like experimenting with it, I found out that this type of UV does not work very well in that case, and there is actually a better way to do it. So let's UV unwrap our model again. Now let's go back to the shader editor. Now when you go back, you can see like the huge problem that we are having. Even though that we are putting the color right here, this is like taking the color, but because of that, we don't have any glass. So how do we do it? Well, this is a prime chance to actually use the mix shader. We will mix between two shaders, which is a glass and a PSDF. Let me show it to you. I know if I explain it like that, you will not really understand me. It's like a little bit in the air, but let me show you. Let's take this off, okay? And let's put a principal PSDF. Principal PSDF. Now we are going to use that image texture of A, okay? Now we can find it here because we already added, so Blender consider it, it's already in the engine. So let's leave it like that and put it on color, and now put it in surface. Now we have the A. Don't like repeat, just be sure it's clip to leave it like that. Okay, now that's good. Now what we need to do is actually create a mask from this. Okay, like the white will be the bottom. Like let's do a mix shader. Mix shader, go to shader and choose a mix shader. Here it is. Now we are mixing between two shaders. What we will do is basically take this shader and take this shader and mix between them. Okay, what will happen is like when it is 0, it will be 100% the top. When it's 1, it's 100% the bottom. So like 1 is white, 1 is white, 1 is white, and 0 is black. So if we take this image right here, like let's copy it, like let's take this and just copy it here. It's basically taking this, like what we want in our case. What do we want? We want actually this black area to be glass, and we want the white area to be the principal PSDF with this white color. Okay, and this actually follow this mask 100%. Like the white would be 1 and it will be the bottom, and the black, it will be 0 and it will be the top. So if we do this, it will work instantly and directly. And this is it. Now we have the A button. Now we can do the B button the same way we did this. Like we will use the same thing. The only difference is like this. So let's learn all about texture and vertex painting and how to mix it all with material nodes. Now let's start with this, and with this one I wanted to show you a different approach. We're still going to use a lot of nodes, but I wanted to show you something that you can do actually in Blender, which is texture painting. If you go here and you go to object mode, you can see that you have texture painting. So what is this texture painting? Texture painting is basically substance painter. If you work with substance painter, you know that you can color directly, like you are in Krita or Photoshop, directly on your model. So if you have a model like this, you can start directly coloring on it. So how to do it? To actually access texture mode, you need to go to object, texture painting, and now you have this. Of course, if you start painting right now, you can paint nothing, and if you do that, you can see that it's a missing texture or link detected. So what you need actually is to create an image texture that it is blank or empty, and then link it to the base color or to the metallic if you want to color metallic information, or you want to color roughness information. Like let's say you want to color some black in the bottom and say like, you know, this black is not reflective, is 100% reflective. So you go to you create an image texture, you color this black and you link it to this. So now black is equal to 0 and the top is equal to 1. Okay, so you can color whatever you want, and this is the power of it. So let's start by doing that. So go to image editor or UV editor, or here, like you can go to any place, but just I wanted to show you a different way. Go to image editor and you close this B. Okay, now you have what you have created is, and create new. You can do some math here by like pressing 2 fois 2, like time 2 time 2, and you can choose a color. Okay, like you can choose whatever color you want. For me, I want a color like this one, I'd say something like that. Okay, and you name it joystick color. Your image, and you create it. And now you have this image, which is joystick color. If you go to shader editor, create a new texture, image texture, and choose that joystick color, and you link it right here. Now you have this, which is the joystick color. Now if you go back to image editor, go to paint, so you can paint here or here. Now if you start painting with the white color, it will color on top of it. If you want to be a lot faster than this, like sometimes it lags a little bit, so go to this, and now it's a lot more faster. And you can do it right here too, so like if you go to here, you can color directly here, and when you release, it colors it. Let me show you some basic controls. So here is the colors basically. You can go here, choose any color, or you can pick a color either in the viewport or here, or from the shader if you have a shader with a certain color. This is a black color, which is like this black color is if you press Control. If you press Control, you will have this color, the second color. Like if you press, you will have the first color, and if you press Control and click with the left mouse button, you have the second color. This can be pretty useful if you want to like shade something. Like let's say you want something to be like, let's say you want something to be this color, and then have like some darker form of this color, like this, but darker. Like let's put it right here. So if you put it, if you start coloring in this, you are choosing the same color. So if you start coloring, let's say with a whiter color, like something like that, and then do this with Control, you can have this color, this mix. Like you can do this better actually. So if you do this, now if you do this, then press Control, it will like deleting that color. Okay, and then you can go back to coloring. It's pretty good, especially if you go to strength a little bit down. So now you have it like this, so it's mixing between this and here. It will be like you are limiting it, so you can actually do a lot of effect using this. Let's delete all this. This is what kind of shading you have, like the mode. You can have the multiply, the color burn. If you used Photoshop, this is basically the same. This is the radius, like you can make it bigger or smaller. As a shortcut is F. Like if you press F and just in the air, like press F and move the mouse, you get it like this. F again, and move the mouse, make it smaller. And the strength is this. I don't have for the moment. I'm not using a pen or a tablet, so I don't need this. This is what type of a brush. If you have some kind of texture or some of texture mask, if you need to, you can control your stroke, your fallout, and X and Y if you are like having a mirror. You want two sides to be the same. Okay, like if you do X and you come here, it's basically applying the X. It's not showing here. I don't know why. If you go here, you can find all those options right here. And if you go to texture down here and you do a new texture, you can choose, for example, a cloud. This. Now, if you go back and go to texture mask, not texture mask, the texture, you will find that you are using the cloud, and if you color, you are coloring with the cloud. Of course, you can just change it here to make it tiled or make it like 3D or whatever you want. Okay, so go back. Let's actually delete this and let's get it back as it was. Another thing that you can do is that, let's say you want to color just a place, you can go to edit mode and choose, for example, this one, like this. And then if you go back to texture paint and you press on this, you will find that you have this. It's like a mask. Now you can color only this part without really affecting the rest of the geometry. And this is pretty useful. So first of all, let's pick a color that works very well for us. Okay, like for me, I think this is like too much. I don't really like it. So let me change it to something I like. So I decided to choose this color, this one here. So let's go to this bucket and just color everything with it. No, I do not mind white. Why are you coloring it white? Now it looks like this. Now let's go to edit mode. Let's choose the inside of it, like this. And now let's check texture paint, do this, and pick something. I'm here basically just trying to make it a little bit more shallow, more dark here to have shadow. So now when you do this, it will be looking like this. Okay, so it's already looking a lot better. Let's now do this the same for this one here. Let's go to edit mode and just like edit mode, or you know what, object mode, choose this, slash hide it, and just be sure to choose this, like go to 7 and just say make it bigger by scrolling and just choose this inside part and this inside part. Say again and just this inside part. Say again and just this inside part. Okay, now it looks a lot better. You can just up, and now we have to choose this and just do this. I want to add it a little bit, so now let's go to texture paint. Now let's make this part a little darker. Okay, like just choose this, be sure to make it a little bit darker. That should be a lot better. And now if you did this, why there is this? Go to here, choose this, and just hide it. Don't know why did this happen. Again, choose this, and just pick one of this, and just color it. Color it just from here, like that. Same thing from here. Same thing from here. Okay. Now if you do this, it looks like that. Let's press slash to get it back. The beautiful thing here is whatever you do here, like all the coloring and you do here, is just an image texture. So what you have learned to now, we can apply it back. Like so, now let's actually do another effect with this. Let's go back to object mode and let's do another thing. Shift A, the brick texture. Let's put it down. As you can see, the brick texture looks like this. Okay. Let's just modify it a little bit. And of course, I Ctrl-Shift clicked on it to make it look, to take this. And of course, we are going to use this as a base. I know that you are thinking right now that this looks bad, like if you put it here and do this, it looks bad, I know, but follow me. It's actually going to be nice. So let's do this, and let's just do this, and let's get this back. Now let's add another texture, which is the wave texture. Wave texture is basically like the brick is creating these bricks for us, and the wave texture is basically creating a wave effect. Like you can modify it here as much as you want, like as much as you need. Okay, so like you can like more wavy, you can add more details, you can scale it up or down, you can do so much with it. Okay, like let's delete it because I want it to be basic. Let's do the wave texture as basic as it can. Okay, and the thing that I did not tell you before is that we can actually mix this. Not only by using the mix RGB, but using another thing. Like you can take this color and link it to scale, and you will get this effect, for example. And now if you move this, you modify it, and if you go to link it to this, it will give you a different effect, like this points here, right? And if you take it and put it like in brick width, it will do it like that. You will get this wave texture to this brick. If you take it to vector, it will give you this effect. I actually like this effect. I actually tried it and I really liked this effect. I felt like we can do so much with it, so I'm going with it. And I want to exaggerate this effect. So as usual, if I want to exaggerate an effect, I will use color ramp. So go here, converter, a color ramp, and let's link it to the factor, and let's put it like that. Now, if you do this, you can make it darker or lighter, okay? But what I want is like, I don't want it to be either this or this. I want to add more colors actually. So let's add another one here and just give it. Let's give it a darker color, not the darkest of the color, but just a little bit. Okay, so let's just put it right here and just put it right here. Okay, and then let's add another one. I hate it when you do that. Let's do this. Let's add it Oh, let's make it a little bit whiter. Okay, so I want it to be something like that. Okay, and now what we are going to do is basically take all this, take this here and mix it with this one. Okay, so let's link this and let's take this and let's use a mix color. Mix, like there is shader and there is color, so let's take a mix color and let's put it right here and just do this. Now we have this. We can either take this color or take this color. Actually, I prefer to put it on factor, I guess. Yeah, like I prefer to put it on factor, and this maybe make it a little bit reddish. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it. I think we need to modify it a little bit. So let's go to this, and let's actually modify this a little more. Let's make this like something like that. Yeah, and here let's put it like that. Here, let's actually delete this. I don't want to scratch it like that. I want it to be a lot darker than this, something like that. Yeah, something like that seems a lot better to me. And let's link this again. Yeah, so this seems a lot better to me. This a lot better actually. So now let's like put it right here in the base color and put it like that. Now we have this color, which looks close to a wood, if you ask me. Not 100% wood, but it's pretty close, I would say. Now we have this color with us, which is nice. Like we can take all this and just Ctrl J and name it and base color. Base color, give it some like color, maybe a browny color. Okay. Now what I want is basically to show you another thing, but a map that we did not use. As you can see, this is like on the ground, right? Like so, if you see this, it is pretty much on the ground. And as any object on the ground, it should collect some dust. Okay, so we are going to create an effect that is close to a dust. I won't say like it is dust, it just creates some ambient occlusion to have some dusty effect. Okay, and to do that, Shift A, gradient, and let's do this. Let's add a color ramp so we can control it, and press on this and Control T so we can decide where to put it. Like it will be inverted instead of this, and let's like get it a little bit up, something like that. And this should be like that. Okay, like that. Now what we will do is basically we will mix between this that we have created and this top part. Okay, so let's choose mix color. Here it is, and take it off. So what do we want? We want the top part to be this color, and we want the bottom part to be darker. Okay, so the top one is this, right? Like it's white. The top one is white, so it should be on the bottom one. Okay, when it's white, it's one, so it should be this. And the bottom part, like I don't know if you put this, yeah, it's like having this, either this or this, yeah. And the bottom one, yeah, and the bottom one needs to be the same color. So like go here, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and just make it darker. There it is, something like that. Okay, now control this, and here we go. Now we have it looking like that, which make it look a lot nicer. Okay, so this part is basically the gradient. So let's put it here, Ctrl G and N, gradient. Okay, let's give it some like, well, leave it dark. Dark is good actually for it, so let's leave it dark one. Now it looks like that. I think it looks awesome. Let's go back. It looks awesome. Like if you go to this, you can see how light reflects this. I think we are in a good direction right now. So what do I need to? Well, actually I thought about it, and I want to give it some Fresnel effect. Like search, where is the Fresnel one? Yes, Fresnel one. Here it is. This one. Let's get color ramp, and just put this something like that, and let's control it more. I want is like want it to be like that, like whenever you color you have this. Okay, let's leave this. So how do we do that? Well, the result of this, which is this one, should be mixed with this one. Why? Because, well, the result of this is this color, and we want to apply this effect on this color. So let's get another mix RGB, mix color, and let's do this. And how do we want this? We want like the black to be this effect and the white to be another color. So the black is 0, so it should be top, and this should be like that. And now if you collect it like that, you give this effect. Like if it's around, it's like giving some whiteness. But what we want is like a little reddish color, so little bit of like something close to reddish, close to the original color, but a little bit harsher. So something like that. Like if you go to like this, it'll give this effect. Not as harsh as this, so maybe you should like change this here, like make it not like this, just a little bit, and just a little bit. Yeah, like I want to be, yeah, something like that, a little bit harsher, like that. Yeah, something like that. So it is not pretty apparent, but it is there. Okay, so if you click this, you can see it, but if you click this, it does not show very well. And we can change this color to something a little bit glowy, I would say. Here we go. Now it looks like this. It looks pretty nice, if you ask me. Now let's like Control C, Control G, Control G, and name this like. I'm pretty much butchering the name, but it's okay. I want to butcher the name sometimes, so it's okay. Let's put this like that. Do we need anything else to do this? Like, I wanted to show you actually something that we did not use the last time, but it's something I think it can make your thing look a lot better. Like, if you look like this, it looks beautiful, it looks nice. But there is something that we can add which will make it look a lot better. Let's go to choose this, go to data, and here you can see color attribute is empty. Let's add color attribute and let it color and accept it as it is. Why do we do that? Because actually we can like we saw texture painting, but we actually can do a vertex painting. What is a vertex painting? Vertex painting is basically taking a vertex and coloring it. Okay, like when you go to see it like that, there is no color basically, but when we color vertex, we have this colors appears here because we are calling vertex itself. We are giving color to the vertex. Okay, so this can actually be very nice for adding some lighting effect and some like shadow effect. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do this. Go here, Shift A, and choose color attribute. Color attribute. Here it is, color attribute. And now be sure to choose this to color. And now let's go to this because this is the result of everything. Let's just get this. Let's do another mix color, and just put it here. And let's use this and this. Like this should be on 0, on the when it is white, like it is 1, and this should be when it's black. And let's put it like that. And why I'm doing this, like you know, we used how many color mix? 3, and to now I did not explain it very well. Actually, I explained it very well. I don't know, like I forgot. But what this mix basically is doing, if I did not explain it, it's as the other one, it's taking either this or this. 0, it is this A, 1, it is this color. So basically when we say this, like that, we are actually using this bottom color, okay? And here you have like all the data that you can have in any Photoshop program. So let's have it as a multiply and just make it a lot harder, okay? Let's make it at 0.9. And now, if you do this, and you go here to 3D viewport, and you go here to vertex paint, you can actually do this. Like you can take it as it is, and just with the white color selected, and you just color. Let's get back our colors back. Like let's get it as it was because we already added the gradient, so I don't have to make the bottom shadowy. But if you press Ctrl, you can color with black, and you can change the strength. And you can control, like you can have like some extra, like if you want, for example, the ambient to be a little bit higher here, you can do that. Okay, so let's like give it a little bit more ambient from this side, like this. Okay, and now you can go to here and you can choose a reddish color like this one, and you just start giving it a more reddish color in this side. Just like do it like this, and you know, have it more reddish. And you can even make it a little bit yellowy in certain places. And now it looks like this. Let's give it more reddish color actually. And there it is. Look how it looks now. And if you ask me, it looks a lot better than what it was looking. And it looks beautiful like that. You can give it more reddish color if you need to. And as I said, because like the texture paint does not allow you to have like another layer of lighting, this can be very beautiful for adding some lighting effects and some like reddish colors when you need them to give it some like effect like that. And the good part is like you can just hide it or just, you know, choose how much you want it to be apparent. It depends on you, and I think like that is looking pretty nice. And this is like the vertex paint. Okay, one last thing that I wanted to show you is how to do a stencil. Like, what if I want to add something here? Like, let's go to, like, we can create a mask and everything and do that, but there is actually a very nice way to do it. So let's go to our image editor, to our image with the joystick color. Let's go back to texture painting, and here you can actually do something that is genius. Like, you can stencil something here. What is it? A stencil tool? You may ask me, of course. Well, you go to texture painting. When you are in texture paint, like, don't forget to change this to paint, because if it's not in paint you can't really color. And what you will do is you will have a stencil here. So let's go to here, create a new one, and here it say like image, like we choose from here, but we can actually go and choose something right here, logo resize it, and I choose it. When you do this, you can go back to your color here, then in your texture here, like this texture, with this texture, you can choose stencil. And when you do that, you have it right here. So now you can press you can press right mouse button and move it wherever you want. You can shift plus right mouse button to make it smaller or bigger. And you can control plus right mouse button to rotate it as you want. So in this case, let's go to front view. Let's right mouse button to move it and just go right here. We can just do this, and we can shift and right mouse button to make it bigger. You can just put it right here. Then don't forget to choose a white color, because you need to be white, and you just, like, this is on one, and you just left mouse button and, you know, color it. It's like you are doing like this, and now when you shoot like that, it appears right here, as you can see. So now if you do this, it appears. Or you can actually just, let's like delete it by, I did a mistake. Let's go to back here, up, logo resize it. We can actually put it on top. Like, I want to put it on top there. So let's go 7 and just choose this place and just, it is good, yeah, like shift and make it a little bit bigger and move it to put it right here. Just go for it. Right mouse button and color. Don't forget to leave this white so it does not color thing. And now you have it like that. And you can hide the stencil by just, instead of like leaving it as a stencil in here, you just change it back to tilt and it will be hidden. And here we go. Now we have it like that. At the Street Fighter logo. And now if we go to this, it looks like that. let's practice what we have learned to now on texture painting and vertex coloring. So let's start working on buttons right now. I can just give them one solid color and call it a day, but I want to put a point right here, like a black one. I draw something here, like it's his thing. So I am actually going to use the paint, texture paint. Let's create a new one actually. I forgot to tell you the last time that each time you finish like working on any image, you need to save it. Like go here and press save, because if you don't save it, when you close Blender, it will not open with it. New, let's name it the buttons color, just a C, and this twice 2 twice 2. For now, let's give it a black color. Of course, it will not have a black color. I'm just going to start with this. Before you forget, do it from now. Like from now, press save as and go to button C and just save it. Okay, like that, you know you did not forget to save it. Now let's go to texture paint. Actually, before we do that, let's go to shader editor. Go here. Be sure to choose button C. Just make it to the base color, so we can see our image. Go to image editor. Be sure you are here in paint, so you can paint. Oh, now we have the stencil tool. I don't need a stencil, so let's go down and let's cancel this. Go to textures, cancel it too, and let's go back to this. So now we can have this white. Of course, there is nothing happening because we are not drawing on the UVs. But if we do this, we get it now. Now let's actually get a color. Let's go to something like this, and with the fill tool, just color the whole thing. Okay, I don't know why the color did change, but this is the color that I want actually. I don't get it. Why did it change? So let's go here. Let's pick this too, just to have the same color. Why do I like to do that? Because sometimes, let's say I do this. So like when I paint with this tool here, let's do it red. If I do red here, then I want to like erase it. I can do just control and color with the second color, which is like the base color. So now let's do that. Like let's get this. Now we have this. All I want is like I want to put a black point just right here. So let's go this in front view and just F to make this smaller, make it a lot smaller, and just choose black color. Make it go to as black as you can, and just put it right here. Just put it right here. There we go. Now we have this. Nice. Now let's go back to object mode and let's press shade smooth auto and keep like the 30° here. Now we have it. Now we can just press R, Z, oh no, Y, and just turn it. There we go. We have this now. Now let's give it a Fresnel effect where it will look a little bit reddish in the limits. Okay, like in the sea. So shader editor. Let's actually make it a little bit bigger. I mean, like that, or that. So Shift A, search for Fresnel, and let's mix it. Let's actually control it at color ramp, and let's control it. Control Shift and press on it to see it. Actually, I want to look like this. I want to be like this. So like this, and just smaller, right? Yeah. So let's go do it like this now. Just mix colors. Here it is, and let's mix this too. Like when it is black, I want it to be the top color, like this black. I want it to be this color, and this color I want to be the white. I want it to be different. I want to be more reddish. To be doing fine like that. So now it's happening basically. Let's do this. Let's put this on here. Now the black will be top, the white will be top, so should be given as a color. Now you can see like a reddish color in the limit. Let's like make it more red just to see it like this, and this actually accelerate the effect a little bit. There we go. Now we have this. So this is Ctrl G, say Ctrl G N, then this is like base color plus Fresnel effect. I think it's written like that, I'm not sure. Let's give it some color, something like this. Here we go. And now I want to give like more highlights and more like shadow. So let's go to this button, go to here, no, go to data, then choose color. Added a color attribute. Now Shift A, choose color attribute. And now let's choose our color. Let's put it right here. Let's got all this front. Let's take this with a mix shader, a mix color. I think it is this one. Yeah, it's a mix color. Now what we will do, this will be the bottom, this will be the top, and like that. Like if it is 0, it will be this color. If it's 1, it is this color. Okay, and let's change this to multiply, and let's give it like something like this to be appearing. Now let's go to this, let's go to vertex mode. What do I have the, let's go here, be sure to delete this. Okay, F, let's make it big and just color it like that. Okay, here we go. Let's give it some dark colors here. From the bottom it should be a lot more darker, so let's give it a darker color right here. And then this needs to have like a color close to this, so let's give it a reddish color. Just start coloring it and just take off the stand a little bit. Just color it like that. Now it looks like that. Now just delete this, like X and delete, and just take this and just Shift D on X and just put it next to it. Now we have this. Now let's make this black one. For this black one, I can just use black here, but I actually want to do the same thing. Like I want to be able to color it, so let's give it a black color. So here, let's create a new one. Now before I forget, let's go back to this. Go to image editor. You will see that your image is a little bit modified because of this, so don't forget to save it. Save. The same thing for this one. Okay, we saved it actually. So let's go to this one. Let's create a new one. Let's new, so black button. For me it's 2 because I tried it for a second time. And let's not make it as dark as this. So let's make it a little bit like this. And let's try. And let's give it some Fresnel effect. Shift A, image. Let's go to Fresnel. And let's like control it, color ramp as we did before. Like this. Let's like see how it looks. Let's make it a little bit like that. Okay, so now let's mix these two. Let's create mix color node and just put it right here. So what do I want? I want the black color to have this. So I want the black color to have this color, so this should be on top and the white should be on the other hand. So let's put it like that. Here we go. Now it looks like that, and I think this looks a lot better. Now let's actually do the same thing for this one right here. This button is well colored, but as you can see, it's in the top of this purplish shape. So I think it makes sense that this takes some purple color. Okay, so we need to create a gradient taking this color, but we already did this gradient here, and I want to show you a different way, which is using ambient occlusion. Shift A, search, and search for ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion. Put it right here. If you press Shift A, input, you can find it right here, ambient occlusion. Now, if you Ctrl Shift and press on it, you will see that it does not happening, like nothing is happening, and that's because Blender does not know where to put this ambient occlusion. So to fix that, press on the node and Ctrl T. Don't forget to delete this. And now get this a little bit closer and choose to put it with normal. Now we have this. Now it knows where to put this ambient occlusion. Let's choose a color ramp and put it right here, and then put it like that. Now what's happening is basically, let's choose a mix shader, just mix color, and just put it right here. I know that it seems that I have put in a lot, but this is the ambient occlusion effect. This ambient occlusion is basically applied onto an object, and when it's close to a shape, like let's say this PC here, it should apply some ambient occlusion right here. Like this creases here should apply some ambient occlusion too. But the Blender don't know really where to put it at first. So we created this, which is like texture coordinate. We will take our coordinate, our UV coordinate, and we map on it, and then we link it to the ambient occlusion. So now with this we can actually control where this ambient occlusion will be applied, and a color ramp is basically to control that effect, like you can make it stronger or less. And then there is this. Why is there is this? Where basically what we are doing, we are saying like we will link this to the factor, and because of that, where it's black, it means it's 0, so it will apply it on A, and where it is white, it is 1, so it will apply this color. So we can take the base color, for example, as white as the top, and this as a darker color to apply this ambient occlusion effect. Okay, so to see this effect, let's put this right here. Now we have nothing because they are the same color, but let's do like a darker purplish color as 0. Here it is, and then this is the yellowy one, like this. Now you have this effect. Or another way to do it is actually to inverse this. So take this black and put it right here, and then take this white and put it right here. And now inverse these two colors, because now what we are doing, we are inversing them. So where it is black, it is white. So now it should be this one, Control C, Control V, and then this should be a yellowish color. Like let's take it at 100% and just take this, for example. And now if we do this, we can get this effect, which is like the same thing but a lot better. I experimented for some moments and it did not work for me with UVs, so I decided to use either generated or object. If you go to generated, it's looking like that, which is already close to what I want. And with some rotation here, and this, Control Shift this, it's already looking like that. Let's actually modify that, get it back. .7, and let's leave this something like that, and just, yeah, something like that, close to this. Here we go, something like that. I think like this it looks already good with these two colors. And now let's add some lights to it. Okay, let's say first, and to add those lights we are going to use the attribute like this one here. Like, I don't know if I have it, but color attribute added, and be sure to Shift A, search color attribute, put it right here, choose color, go for mix to mix them, let's put it in B, let's put this in A, and let's connect it to this. Let's go to multiply, and let's go for it. Let's go to 1.0.9 or something. Okay, now we can choose the vertex mode and color it. Of course, go to white color. Here we go, and let's color it. First, let's start with this. Just press Ctrl to add some shadow. Let's press Ctrl to add these shadows right here, and we have some shadows close to the here, so let's add them too. And here we should add it like more colors actually. Here more of the original color. Like you can go here, press on this, and pick this color to just the color when you need to. Let's give more strength and just add it whenever you feel you need to. Now let's make it a little bit reddish in this area. Oh, the ball looks very nice from here. And I think this is it basically. And there we go. And something like that. Now we have finished this, and this is the whole thing. Now let's go to the screen. I want to add some colors like this one, not the same, but at least like have some different colors. So let's start with actually creating a new map to use in texture painting. Okay, so new, we will call it screen 2 because I already did once. Let's take for now any color, just pick any color you like. Let's take something maybe like this, new image. Okay, nice. Don't forget to save it, so you will have it here like a screen. And let's go. Now go for shader editor, and inside shader editor create an image texture, and let's choose our screen. Is the screen so this screen, and let's choose it, and here we go. Now we have this screen color. Now if we go back to image editor and choose, instead of view, go to paint, so you can actually paint, and here go to texture painting. Now we actually start painting. Where are we painting? Oh, we are painting in the black side. Okay, maybe I will start by modifying the color. Let's save to this color, and yeah, to this color. There we go, something like that. Okay, now let's start with this. Let's go to edit mode, and let's start with this. Like press 3 and choose this, then 3 and choose this, then 3 and choose this. Okay, now we have this. Let's choose another color. Let's go to texture paint and let's choose another color, like a lighter one. Let's go to here and just choose one and go color all this. Now let's just keep coloring this until we get something to look at. Let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. Slash to isolate it and just keep going, so we can like color it from each side, and we are going. And now we have done this. Press slash again and go to this. Now we can take off this. Now we have this color. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the edit mode, and let's do the same thing for this. So choose this, double click, then shift and double click, then shift and double click, and be sure that we have choose everything. Okay, go to texture paint here and choose a darker color. Okay, and now I have to make it bigger, just color it. Press slash to isolate this and just go for it. Okay, and slash to go out of isolate mode and take this off. Now this looks like that. Okay, that's nice. Let's put it like that, and let's go back to this. Okay, don't forget to save image, and now let's try to make some ambient occlusion like we did before. So let's go to object mode, shader editor, and just shift A, input, choose ambient occlusion, and connect it with Control Shift, and color ramp to just have more control. Okay, let's do this, let's inverse this. Let's do this, let's actually give it some inversion and just here we go. Now we have it like this, which is not bad, but let's actually give it more control. I found it amusing that sometimes when you connect this with a control T, like you get the mapping and everything, it became more difficult to actually control it, and sometimes it just work, like in this case for example. So now if we start doing this, we get actually a result that is pretty nice. Let's get this a little bit up. Let's get this to 6 or 7, something like that. Looks interesting. Now what we will do, like we did before, we will take this a little bit down, Shift A, choose a mix color, put it right here, and let's put it on the shader. Our goal now is that, you know, whenever it was black, it was 0, so it's the top color. Whenever it's white, it's the bottom color. Okay, so let's choose these two colors here. Control Shift, and now we have a color like that, which is pretty nice if you ask me. Let's leave it like that. I think it's good. It's kind of what we want, so let's keep it like that. And then let's take all this like this and Shift A, search for mix color again, and let's mix these two. Okay, what we want is actually to mix between A and B. These are colors, so it should be here. Yeah, so this should be like this, and let's give it not 1, not 2, like let's be in between, so 0.8 or 7 or something like that. Here let's do this to give it more color, and distance should be something like that. Okay, something like that. These two, let's put it right here and just connect it and see how it looks. Let's give it some roughness and choose color attribute. When it is data, color attribute added 1, added, and this is the same thing. Let's actually take this like that. Why do we always add this color attribute? Well, because it's simple. I want to have some control on the darkness and light, so I can actually do that. I can just create this, which is going to be like my light and darkness effect, and I just use it like that. I just put it here, I give it a good color, be sure it's multiply, and then I go to vertex paint, be sure it's white, like saturation bit 0, and make this black, and I can do this. So I can't actually start coloring it and make it 1, and I can start coloring my thing. So let's make it with Eevee here, and just, you know, color it like that. Now, because we did this, we can actually now start modifying the ambient occlusion that we created before. So now we can just lower this down and just control and just start creating some of our own ambient occlusion. Okay, let's do this. Let's lower it. And I can make something a little bit reddish and just hit it with it, give it some reddish color from this side, from this. Just take something yellowy, just follow this, and basically this is it. Here we go. Now let's save it. And let me show you how to actually create and animate this. Now you are probably thinking like how to create this. So all you have to do is go to material, be sure you have another material which is screen in this case. Let's save before we do that. Shift A to create an image texture, and in my case this is the video, so open it. Now going to the color, now you should have it like this. Sometimes it does not appear, like in this case for example. All you have to do is like press the screen and just press U to unwrap it, okay? And then be sure to choose auto refresh and choose the frame to be, this frame is basically how many frame will be rendered. So let's choose 200,000 or something, because our thing is like long. So if you press play, it should start playing, but in our case it does not. But you know, you see something happening, so there is something. And this is because we are actually, if you go to the UV, and here it is Street Fighter opening. Don't like choose this, just this J and put it right here. Be sure that there is no sticky, and just move this like one, move this J Y, and then J and X, and here we go. Now you can see that it is like inverted. So 3 to choose its face, and R and 180. Now it looks like that. If you press out of it and press play, press the play button right here, just have it like that. And I want to add some gradient to it, so let's start with that. All I have to do is image texture, not image texture, gradient texture. Here we go, and just link it with Control Shift, and then choose a color ramp so we can control it, and then choose this. Okay, what I want is basically I want the bottom part and the top part to be black and the middle to be white. Okay, so I want to have like some kind of an ambient occlusion and some kind of like shadow on the bottom and the top. So let's add the one in the middle, and let's choose this, make it black, choose this, make it as white as you can. Okay, and let's just add something like this. Okay, something like that, to have it like this. Okay, and now let's mix these two. Mix texture, mix color, and choose this, A and B. So when it's white, I want to be 1. Like when it's white, it's 1, so I can see this. Okay, so white, it will be the bottom, it will be 1, and top it will be black. So let's do this. No, I mean this, and just give it some dark color and connect it to this. Now we have this. Like I want this to be a little bit dark. There we go, something like that, and just connect it now to this and connect this. And now we have this. Maybe it's too black, I don't know, but it's okay. Like, let's give it some black, and let's give it some like reflectiveness because it's screen. And you know what? As a screen, it should be emissive, right? Like it should emit light. So go to emission and just give it some emission. Let's make it 0.05 or something like that. But you can see like the colors are fainted. But if you think about it, the color should be this pixels, right? So let's just link this, or even not this. Like we can just link directly this. And now we have it like that. Now this actually controls the brightness of the screen, which is nice. Like so, let's shift and just give it some brightness, and this is it. Now if you press play, it will look like that. I think it's looking nice. Now we have this, which looks amazing. We need to add up the rest, which is this and this and this, and I think this looks cool now. Let's learn everything you need to know about PBR materials. What is PBR material? PBR means physically based rendering. So the materials that you are going to create, it will react in a physically accurate way to the light. So it will simulate the object in a real and correct way. Okay, for example, this is gold. This means this object is meant to be a golden sphere. Okay, and as you can see, it really reacts correctly to light. Okay, even though that like the base rendering is only EV, and I am not even like doing cycle on anything, it already reacts in a very nice and a very correct way to light. So we are going to try to create a material like that to our PC. It's not going to be 100% accurate, but it will be close to, like, it will be a mix between a PBR object and a cartoonish object. So let me show you about this first. Let's split this, go to shader editor, and let me show you the material. As you can see, we have like the base color, which is this one. Then we have the metallic information, the roughness information, and the normal information. So the combination of all this will give you a realistic material. And how do we get this? What actually happened is a lot of companies will actually take gear and try to capture a real object and then transfer that data to maps. So they will create different type of maps. Like, let's go here, for example. These are the maps of our object, basically. I know they don't leak a lot of details because, you know, like the quality of YouTube and everything, but they have the details on these maps, like a black, this one blue is for normal, this black and white is for like displacement, the metallic, everything. It have like black and white information, and those information we are going to connect them to base, metallic, and roughness and normal, and we are going to link them to a mapping here so we can control how they will look on our UVs, on our sphere, and the final result of all this will give you a realistic material. So where do you get these realistic materials? Well, there is a lot of sites out there, but I will give you two sites that are quietly nice. The first one is this Polyhaven. Polyhaven have all this collection of realistic materials. They are PBR materials. You can have like 543 materials. You have all these types of materials down here, okay? From rocks to roofing to fabric to basically a lot of materials, okay? And we have Polygon. It has like some point system, but there is some free materials. Like if you go here, for example, texture, then go to free, you can have all these free materials, okay? For example, this is the gold material that I was using, and let me show you how to add them. You can go and start adding them one by one, like take the image texture of the base color and link it to the base color, then get metallic and link it to metallic, get roughness and link it to roughness, get normals, added with it a normal map and link it to normal, and then add to them all Ctrl T on one and get the mapping and just link it to all of them. This is a way to do it, but actually let me show you another way to do it. If you have the node wrangler added on activated, you can press Shift and W. Here you can get all the options that the node wrangler allow you to do, okay? And you have this added principal setup. As you can see, it's great, but if you select our node and then press again Shift W, we will get this principal setup, okay? Click on it, and here it is, like our gold. So this right here is the ambient occlusion, as you can see on the name. Then this is the base color, so choose the base color, and then go to, we don't need really displacement. I prefer to work with a normal map because displacement means that I'm going to need to add more geometry, and I don't want to add the geometry. And like the metallic map, control and select it to, the normal, control and select it to, and the roughness, control and select it to. And now we have this principal texture setup. Click on it, and now you have everything made for you. Now let's do the same thing in our project. So let's start actually with our PC right here. So let's go back like this. Let's go back to this. Let's actually do the same thing. So select the node, then Shift and W, and here we can add a principal setup. And as you can see, it's Shift Control plus T. And there is actually other stuff that we can do, which is nice. I did not know that. Anyway, added principal setup is Shift Control T. So let's select it, Control plus Shift plus T. This is actually the mold dry blast. It is this one, okay? It is this polygon plastic mold dry blast. So 2K, and let's go with the base color, Control and select the metallic, Control and select normal, Control and select the roughness and principal texture. Now we have added all this. Now as you can see, we have this. Look how it reacts with light. It does not look as like uniform as this. It have these points on it because it have this, okay? As you can see, you can even see it in our texture here, in our cycle render right here, which make it look pretty nice and pretty realistic. But I don't like this color, okay? I want to change the color actually. So let's go back to this and let's go here. All I have to do is actually just change this, like deselect this. Now I have my principal PSDF color, and I can create my own color. Okay, I can mix this one with another, or I can make my own. And what I'm going to do is actually I am probably going to try and create my own base color, like we did with this. Like we will maybe create some ambient occlusion, some shadows, some lights areas like we did here, and mix all this with that. Okay, first let's create an image texture, because what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to color this as we did with this one. So I am going to create an image. Let's go to new and name it PC base color. It will be purplish. Let's go to some dark purple here, like not very dark, something like that. And it's going to be 2K. So let's do this, and let's create a new image. Now this new image, let's go to shader editor. Let's go here and let's delete this. Now Shift A, image texture, and let's choose our PC version, PC base color. Okay, and let's link it to this. Now we have this color. What I'm going to do, I actually created this one, not like the whole color, just the base color, and name it version 2. I changed the color a little bit. Like if you go to image editor, like if you go from base color to PC version 2001, there is a like small change of color. I like it more this color, so I went with it. Now let's go here, let's make this bigger, and have texture painting, and let's have just a white color, and change this from view to paint, so you can paint on it. Let's see. Okay, we are painting now in top. What I want to do now, like I did in this one, I want to this like parts right here to have a different color. So let's go to this one, choose this to have this as base color, and then the same thing for this one. Let's make it a lighter one, something like that. Okay, let's go to edit mode. Let's choose all this. Let's choose all this, and let's take this off. Control B, and just have a little one, something like that. Okay. Let's have it like that. And now what we do is like take this, and let's close it right here, and let's close it right here, and let's this, and let's unwrap only this. Okay, now we have it like that. What we did here is basically we unwrapped this part again, because this part we added the new. Now let's add this, then shift double click here, shift and double click here, shift double click here, shift and double click, no, shift, let's isolate this, shift, wait, shift and shift. Okay, now if we go to edit mode, if we go to texture paint and we press this and we go here, we can now color this alone. So let's color this, let's give it a good new color. Sometimes you will have this problem where like if you color an area, you will see that it is getting colored all over here. Why is that? It's probably because this one here is on top of this texture. Like if you go to UVs, like let's go to UVs and select everything, we find like this here is in top of all this here. So whenever you color here, you actually coloring on top of this one too. So you color them both, and the solution for that is actually pretty simple. First, go back before you color everything. So like you will have like a uniform, then select everything, go to UV editor, select every UV, go to UV and choose pack island, and then keep scale and rotate, so we can scale them and rotate them as needed, then pack. When you do this, now he will separate everything to its own place. Now let's do that again, double click on this, then select this. Now if you go to texture paint, keep it as a face, and just start coloring again. Now we should not have the same problem. Let's keep doing this. So now we have colored all this. Now if you take off this, now we have it looking like that. And now it looks like that. And now, don't forget to save whatever image texture you have created. Let's go back to shader editor, and you can see now we have this looking like that. We are mixing between them, okay, which is nice. I actually wanted to add it like this color right here, so let's do that too. We can actually do that all to this, so, and here we go. Now we have it like this. You can even try to add it here if you want, but for me I will not. I think I like it like that. Now let's go to edit mode again, and in face mode let's select all this, like double click here, then choose this, double click here, double click here. Okay, be sure that everything is selected. Select this, this, and this. No, only these two. Okay, let's do this here too. So double click here. Wait, what? Why? No. So double click here, choose this, double click here, double click here, and let's go from here. Select this, and just go tab to go to the paint again. I don't know if I said this before or not, but tab allow you to jump from the edit mode to the last mode you have been. So if you were in the texture paint and you press tab, you go to edit mode, but if you press tab again, you go back to texture paint. If you were in the object mode, so when you press tab, you go to edit. When you press tab again, you go back to edit mode. Okay, so this is how it works basically. So now let's go to make this a little bit darker. So go to this and just choose a darker version. Yeah, let's go. And this is it. When we make it darker, we go here, it looks a lot better like that. Don't forget to save this image, save, because if you don't save this, as I said before, when you quit Blender and you open again, you will not find this, so you will lose every information you have created now. Okay, now let's press slash again to go out of isolate mode and see it how it looks. Now it looks actually pretty nice. Now what I want to add it is basically like an ambient occlusion. This should be a little bit up, so let's try this. Let's take all this and just take it down, because we are not going to work with this. So Shift A, image, then ambient occlusion. Put it right here, or Shift, and let's see it. This is how it looks for now. Let's color ramp in the factor, of course, and just Control Shift and press on this to see it. Let's inverse this. Put this on black, put this on white. Now we have it like that. Now we can exaggerate a little bit, fast a little bit, something like that, just to have a certain degree. Yeah. I want to make it up to here, so can I? let's try it. Let's try it like that. So go Shift A, choose color, mix color. Let's put it right here. We want this to be here. So we want to take from the base color to a darker color. I think we should take between these two. So this, Control C, Control V, and this darker color, it should be a little bit darker. Maybe something like that. Okay. And then let's take all this. Let's take this back. Take this, and I chose this. Like I connected this to this, and as you can see, like if you take this off from here, it already does not look as much as I wanted. So I chose here, Control Shift and press on this to see it, and as you can see, the effect is not that exaggerated. So I decided to exaggerate it a little bit. So let's push it a little bit like that. And I darkened this color a little bit. I made it a little bit darker to have it looking like that. Maybe I will just push this a little. Like I don't want this to be fully colored. So something like that. Or like that. Something like that. It's okay. Then I took this, connected to this, connected back to this, and just Control Shift on this. Now we have it like that. We have basically the color that we want. It's a lot darker here than in the top. Okay. Now what I want to add is little scratches. Like I thought about it, and this is too clean. Like even though it's beautiful, but it's too clean. So it's a good chance to show you how to add scratches. So let's get this a little bit up, this normal little bit here, and let's go back to our 2K here, and let's choose another material. It is scratches light. It is this one that I will open it. Okay. So take this normal thing right here and just put it here. Okay. Choose color and choose here normal map. Normal map. We can use the bump one, but as you remember, the bump one uses black and white information, and this is already a blue one, so we don't need that. Let's convert this to non-color, and let's mix these two. Of course, you may think of mix color, but it does not work. We need actually to mix between two normals, which mean mix between two vectors. So go to this and choose mix that shows right here, like which is mix A, mix B. Let's put this in B, and let's put this in A. And this basically will mix between two normals, because it will mix between two vectors. So just put it away like this, and just put this in its place. There we go. Now we will have some scratches, as you can see. And we can like press 2.5 maybe, make it stronger to have them more clear, to make the effect more clear. Maybe it's too strong, so let's make it 2. Here we go. Now we have it like that. Now I want to add another thing, so go back to object mode, make all this go up like this, let's choose this and go to data, color attribute, added, search color attribute, input, and put it, choose color, and mix between these two, this and this. So go here, mix, put it in B, put this in A, and just put it right here. Now go to multiply, just make this darker. And now let's go to vertex mode, make it bigger, choose white, so go saturation 0. Just I want to have more exaggerated effect when I want it to be more exaggerated, so let's do this. Like let's delete everything like this. Let's make it pretty white. Let's give it back its natural color, and then whenever we need to be darker, we will get it darker. Okay, this is the plan. So get a little bit down here, choose a purplish color and make it darker, and just control and press, make this a little bit less strong so it have the effect. And let's start drawing the shadows as we want them. I want this part to be a lot darker, so let's do this. this is what I wanted. And here let's make it a bit reddish, and just I do like that. And now let's make this a little bit less. It'll be like this. Actually, I thought about something, so let's try it. Instead of mixing it with this, let's directly mix this here, so I'll just leave it like that. Because I thought about it, I'm making this dark part myself, so yeah, I think like that looks a lot better. Yeah, it actually looks a lot better like that, so I like it like that. So I leave it like that. I will actually leave it like that. This is a lot better. We can make some darker color here, so let's make this a little bit shadowy. This part a little bit shadowy, but the rest should not be that shadowy. I think like that it looks amazing. And yeah, we basically finished it. So as you can see, we learned how to mix between two normals, and we learned how to mix all these colors to create my own, and we learned about PBR, which is awesome. I worked more on it. So what I did basically is I reconnected this to make it like that. I wanted this to be less apparent, and I did this here. I know what you are wondering basically why I did this, but as you can see, I made it a lot whiter because it was like this. So it was more reflective. It was having some black values. So I decided to make it a little bit more white like this. So it will be less reflective. Okay, like this will be less reflective. And I want to do the same thing to the metallic. So let's Control C, Control V, because this object should be plastic, not really metallic. So it should have like something like that. And now I think it's a lot better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe let's like make this a little bit higher, something like this, have it like that, but maybe here just less. Okay, should be like that. What do you think, guys? Now it looks like this. So let's do the same thing for this one. I know you are thinking that I will do everything back. No, but I just want to change the metallic and roughness at normal to something close to this. Okay, so let's go here. Let's Control C, Control V, and basically take all this. Control C, go here, Control. No, I meant my bad. Let's go here and Control C to this, Control C, and go here, Control V. And now we have this, which is basically the metallic, the roughness, and the normal. So let's color metallic to metallic, roughness to roughness, and normal. Let's create normal map, and link it to color, and just link this like that. And then I know that nothing is appearing right now, like it looks just as it was. No, actually it looks pretty nice. Here it is. Now we have it like that, which is making it like not as smooth as it was. Like before, as you remember, it was a little bit smooth, but now it is less smooth, which is nice. Do you know what we can add it now? Light. Yeah, I think that's better. Choose this, Shift D and move it on Y. Here we go. Now selecting this, extrude it. Okay, now press L while selecting all this, like select L, L, and then the back face, L, because it's following the seams. Okay, it's like it's doing this. So now we have selected everything, press P and separate by selection. Now we have this and this as separate object. Now let's take this and J, X, Y. Wait, why is this? Oh, it's because set origin and just put it right here. And let's make it a little bit smaller. Okay, something like that. Now select this. And what material does this have? Oh yeah, it has the same material. So select this, press 2, this. When you do that, now you have created a copy. Now this and this are not using the same material. So now if you go here and just delete everything, nothing will happen. Only this will be affected. It's still purple because we are choosing purple here. So let's make it like pretty like that. Go to emission and choose strength. Okay, and be sure it's like green color. Make it like that. Choose this and put it right here. Why did we do that? I don't know if you remarked this or not, but whenever you create an object, it's created in the center of the world because this cursor is in the center of the world. So now if we press Shift A and create, for example, a cube, it will be created right here. So the origin of this cube is directly on top of this cursor 3D here, this cursor, okay? And sometimes this is pretty useful because let's say you want like the normal for the origin is right here, as you can see. So you can put like choose, let's go to material. If you go 3 to choose face mode and then choose this face and or this face for example, and then you do like Shift S, you can have this one. And you can have a lot of options. One of them is selection to cursor or cursor to grid, cursor to world origin if you want to get it back to world origin, cursor to selected. If you do that, now the cursor is right here, right? So you can create from here. Let's put this right here and go to here, edit mode, not edit mode, Shift A, and you choose a light, and this light is an area light. Okay, now this light area is like origin is right on the cursor here. So let's R X 90 degree, no, R X minus 90 degree, and now it's doing this. You can give it a green color and make it stronger. Let's make it like 100, and let's go here again. And now if you move this, it's right here. So you can do like 200 for example and make it more green. Okay, so now it's giving this light. Of course now it's too big, so let's maybe SY and just SZ and just make it a little bit smaller, SX and just make it a little bit smaller, SYZ again, make it like this, and make this like 100 or 15, yeah, something like that, just to have it like that. And now let's do Shift S, cursor to world origin, so we get it in the center here, and just leave it like that. Okay, now we have it like this. So now we finished this, and what I decided to do is basically taking all this, I just copied them, this, like not all this, without this bottom one, okay, like without this, I just took this materials here, Control C, copied them, and took them to the others, to just have this like effect here. Like, do you see it? Like it's the same as this one, I just copied everything, like I just, the base color left it as it is, but I just took the metallic, put it in metallic, roughness, put it in roughness, and normal, put it in normal. These three without any modification, just as they are. The only thing I modified is I added a Control T, and I added a mapping, and I make it a little bit bigger so we can see it better. And this is it. I did this for this one, and for this one, for this points right, for this one, and even this one. And I did the same thing for the button on top here, like you can. And this is it. So let's finish the cassettes. The first thing I did, I just rotated this a little bit and made them in this way. You can do it alone, it's just me pressing R and rotating, so I do not care to show this. And now let's make first the cover that comes here, okay? So select this, press 1 for to go to front view, press H to hide this, go here, let's get a little bit close, and let's just added a cube almost here, and just do it like that. It will be a little bit and inside, and just bam. Let's go back to selection mode, and let's give it some thickness. F9 to get this back. Size 2 meters. Okay, like let's give it some thickness. Tab J Y and just move it a little bit to give it some thickness. Okay, then in edge mode, control and double click on this to select every edge, and just press 1, you can see it, and just give it some bevel, something like that. Okay, there we go. Now select this, or you know what, just select this, press slash to isolate. No, I meant what? Not this, I meant this. Press slash to isolate, and just let's unwrap it. 2 for edge mode. Select this, Control E, and mark a seam. Then choose a point in the bottom, I think, because well, I prefer the bottom part. Maybe here, and Control E and mark a seam. Then go to face mode and select everything, U, unwrap. You can go now to UV editor and see your unwrap. Here it is. Just close this because we don't need it anymore. Notice that when you close something here, it does not mean that you have deleted it. It's still here. It's just that it is not open because I don't want to open it. I want to add another thing now. So press slash to go out again. And what we are going to do now is we are going to make this, give it a material and give it a texture, then copy it to all of this, okay, and change the texture. Okay, so let's go to material, new, let's create a new material. Let's go back to shader editor. Here we have this cover. Go to blender and put it right here. This cover have every cover that we need, and if we put it like that, nothing will come out, because even though we have unwrapped it, but we don't know where it is. Like choose, you can see that we are in UV editor, so we can modify UVs. Go to this and choose cover. There it is. Now we have this. Now we know what we want. Okay, so what we are going to do now is that we are going to take this, which is this, and put it here to have this as a top. Okay, so press G, put it right here, and you can see it's rotated. So let's rotate 90 degree. No, not here, but rotate it here. R minus 90 degree. No, R 90 degree. There you go. And now all we have to do is basically choose all this. Like go to 1 to 4 for this. Be sure this disabled, and just J and Y to move it. J and Y to move it. J and X, put it right here. J and X and put it right here. And like that we have created this, which is the first one. Now what we are going to do is basically go to shader editor. We already connected with this. Be sure to choose this. Go to attribute and add to the data, then color attribute and add that one. Okay, so shift A, search, and search for color attribute, and choose color. And now let's mix B with this. Just put it right here. Be sure it's multiply and just make it darker. Let's put it like that. And now go to vertex paint. Be sure that it is white, like make saturation 0, and then this is like 100% black, and just and do this to have like a gradient. It's like we have like the ambient occlusion without really creating an ambient one. And just let's give it some yellowish color, maybe a little bit less than this, and just to give it that yellowy color. Okay, and now we have finished it. So basically we have created the image, then we have done all this. Okay, let's save, and now let's go out and go back to object mode. Okay, now let's do this for all this. All you have to do is shift D, X, move it, go to snap tool, choose face, align rotation, and choose closest or center or whatever you like. For me it's center because I want to do it with this. Then G, just move it right here, and just deactivate, and just, it's probably inverted, so it's inverted, right? So RX 180 and just RZ and just do it like that. Now let's get to top view, G. Of course, now if we do G and Y, it will move it like that, but if we do G, we go to local and we do this, now it will move according to the rotation that we have. So let's put it like that to have this kind of rotation with it, okay? Like that. And now this is using basically the same material, like this, just take it a little bit up and more like this. So now this is basically using the same material. If we go here, it's using the same material as this one. So let's change this. Let's click here, and now we leave the same image, we leave the same details basically, and we just go to UV editor and 3 to choose the face, and instead of this face like being here, let's like go to face, select this face and just put it right here. Okay, so now 1 for vertex again, JX, put it right here, then choose this, JY, do this, JX, do this, and JY, and do this. Okay, now we have it like that. Okay, now we have it like that. I'm going to change the color too. We can like go to object mode, vertex paint again, and choose white. Okay, and just like make it all white, and just go control and just make this side a little bit black, just a little bit. Okay, then some like reddish color like we did before, put it right here, and just something like that, and control to have like darker colors from here. And then let's do the same thing, go to object mode and shift D and then on X. It's still rotated like that because we are still like following the local. So let's activate the snap tool and just put it something like that. Of course, with the snap sometimes it does not really work as you need it, so it's okay when it does not work, just deactivate it and get it helping you, just get it approximatively where you want it, and just from there just do it yourself. Okay, so R on X, no, let's not do that, let's go to global again, and R on X at 90 degree, no, not 90 degree, R on X, well, maybe like that. The good thing when you are working on the front face or the top or something, that when you move, it will only move on 2 axes, like it will ignore the other axis. Like on top view, for example, you can see that we are only moving it on X and Y. So when I rotate, when I move, there is no depth, there is no Z, so it does not move up or down until I precise that. So it is nice to like follow things. And let's do the same thing. These two are using basically the same cardage. So let's change this to this, and then again 3 to select this, and just go 3 here too, choose this and do it right here. Now let's go to vertices and just select these vertices, J on X to put it right here, then J on X, then J on Y, then J on Y, J on X, and here we go. Now you have it like that. Again, you can go to the vertex paint, make it white, and again just make everything white, and just control to make some areas a little bit dark. And you know what, I did a mistake, so just give it a white color, and let's do that again. Let's give 100% strength and just make it like that, and let's get it back, control to give it some shadow in the bottom from this areas too, and just some yellowish color from this side, or some little bit reddish. And here we go. Now you can keep messing with this and adding details, it's up to you, but for me I think I like it like that. Now let's go back to object mode and let's do the same. What I will do here, let's first change this to a little bit greenish, like something like that, maybe like that, maybe like this, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, probably I will change it a little bit, but it's okay. But what I'm going to do is actually leave this as an exercise to you. I will show you how we did it, but I will leave this as exercise to you. Okay? What I'm asking you to do now is to create a material for this. It's an exercise. It's the first exercise that we are doing, and that's good. I think now you have learned so much, and you can actually do it alone. So all you have to do is choose a color close to green. Okay? Close to green, and try to make it green with some yellowish hair. Okay? Some yellowish part like that. Like that yellowy part is like, it's like it's old. So how do you create this? How do you go on creating this? I will not explain everything to you, but I will give you a start to show you how to do it. If you don't want these tips, you can pause here and try to do it, and then finish the tutorial. But if you want to hear some tips, first of all, I wanted to create some ambient occlusion here. It's either by gradient or ambient occlusion. It's up to you. So this will have some ambient occlusion. With this here, we'll be having some ambient occlusion like this in the bottom. Okay, so it's not the same ambient occlusion as this one. 2. About adding those yellowy, you can use texture paint if you want, but you can use what we did here, which is a vertex painting, and just paint some yellowy stuff like that. 3. It's up to you how to make the ambient occlusion, how to make everything. Are you going to add this kind of material here? It's all up to you. Like, I will leave all these details to you and see how you are going to do it. So here we go. I hope you did it well and you learned a lot from it. I added these two. So it's basically the same thing we did this. There is nothing like new about it. What did I do? I will explain later. So let's start with this. Let's start with this first. Okay, so what we did is that first I create an ambient occlusion. As you can see, it is how it looks. Then with this is how it looks. We control it a color ramp. Then we link it the color ramp to a factor and mix it between this color, which have these values of green, and this brownie color, which have these values, to give it this spec. And then using this, we did a lot basically of coloring to give it that yellowish like color around it. There is of course other ways to do it, but this is how we did it here. This one is basically the same thing. I changed the mixing color here, so instead of having a green color, I had a green and a darker green, as you can see in the bottom here. Okay, and then I used this to add this yellowish color. It's really obvious here. And then we did this with the base color. I basically left the roughness and everything as it is. I did not change any roughness or any other options. Okay, as you can see here, each one of these is basically, these are basically using the same, these three are using basically the same material, but this and this are using each, like, it's the same material, but it's like its own copy, so I can modify it better. Okay, so this is how we did this. For these ones here, it's basically the same. So we went to this, we applied, we go to this, applied all modifiers on all of them, then enter edit mode. I UV unwrapped them, as you can see, like this is a UV, this is a UV, like I made everything its own copy, like each box of this, like each one of them is like its own, not this small one, like I mean this big one, and this big one, and this big one, they are all faces. If you can see it in UV editor here, go to UV editor, as you can see they are all its own faces. Okay, and then we took these faces and we added them to this, which is the, let me look for it, I think it is this one. Yeah, here it is, this so if you press L, you can find this love, and this one here is this one here, and the others I just left them at dark. They are basically mixed ones, as you can see in the bottom, because they don't show, so I did not care to put anything on them. This one too, here, like if you go, it's right here. And we have now all this. One last thing, maybe I should add it to this, because I want to have like different metallic. Oh, by the way, I did not apply anything here. If you go here, all this still having like the same. So if I color something from here, it will be colored here too. This made the process a lot easier. One last thing that I wanted to show you is that if we go to choose this, and let's go to shader editor, and actually let's go to this and let's copy this. You can do it. I don't know if you did it or not, but I want to do it. Control C, get to this, take all this up, and just here, Control V, and just let's do it. So metallic to metallic, roughness to roughness, and normal to normal. So it have like that pointy effect here. Here let's make it 0, 1 as it was, and just leave it. I think we need to modify a little bit the geometry. There is some stretching happening here, but here it's pretty nice. This stretching here is probably because actually I don't know why. Should not be have. Oh, wait. What? There is some stretching happening. There is some stretching happening, but it's okay. It's not that much obvious. And yeah, like let's do it here too. Let's do this. And let's just Control V. Put this to metallic. Put this to roughness. And this is to normal. And do this too. And I will leave this one to you to do, if you want to do it, of course. And now we basically finished the modeling. This is how it looks now. Good. And now we have it like this. And we basically finished the material part. Oh, it took so much time, and I feel so tired. I decided to use a model from Polyhaven, which is this model. I will put it in the download description. You can get it. Press on download. You can get the 4K resolution or 2K, whatever you want. I'm leaving it at 4K because why not? You can here like have what type of files you can, PNG or whatever you want. And then when you download it, you'll find that it is like go here, download it, have painted wooden, and you can extract it. You found this. Here are the texture, and here is the file. And the problem with this that it is a blend file, so you can open it as a blend file. So if we press double click on it, it will be opened as a new scene, as a blend file. Here it is. But what I want is actually to take this object and add it to my existing one. So what I did is basically, let's clear this. What I did basically, go to file, then append, and then let's go to our location, Control C, then go here and Control V, and just here it is. This is the blend file. Double click on it, you will get this, which allow you to choose what you want to import. For me, I want to import the color. Usually, if you want to import the mesh with the materials, you go only to collection, and that have only one collection that have basically the object, which is this. And now, like let's delete this. Here is our object. Okay, we added to this file, and if you go here, it's already textured and ready to be used. Okay, then what I did is basically I choose this, edit mode, then Z, and go to wireframe, and then I chose this. Like let's go to edge, vertex, and I chose this J, then Z, and move it on Z, and I leave it probably like that. Okay, then I got it a lot bigger. Now if you go to solid and you start getting it S, like S, and get it bigger, you see that it's like the origin point is right here. So you can go to object, set origin to the center, or you can choose it, right mouse button, and go to set origin and make it in the center, and just make it a lot bigger. Okay, after that I decided to not use this, because if you make this bigger too, it will look weird. So I did not use this, and now we have it like this, which is pretty nice texture. Okay, now let's go back to our project. Here it is, and basically this is it. Now it is looking like that. We can modify this, added some color if you want to, but for the moment I like it like that. Let's save, and now we can go to room and unlock it, and this is how it looks. Let's save. For room, for this, like we can use the ground and pay selection and separate it. Now like if you go this is actually, let's press F2, it's ground, so let's put the, well, or floor, let's name it floor, and these are walls. Okay, like these are walls. Here we go. Now we leave it like this. For this, let's let's make a material that I liked. So go new, create a new material, and I downloaded this material from Polygon, which from Polygon is plaster painted. It's free, and I will put the link down to it, and it's like basically the paint. So let's actually use this 2K and just copy, go to our scene, not this one, let's don't save it. Let's go to this, choose this, and here shift, choose this, then shift W, choose added principal setup, go Control V, add it here, and this is what I was talking about. You can see here that it have its own naming convention. It's like the name, like Polygon plaster painted 7664. Then it have normal, like as this like slash and then normal, and then this is like ORM, and this like the base color. So from this it knows basically how to link them, and this is what you need to use actually. So this is the base color, this is the metallic, this is the normal, and this is the roughness, and here we go. Now we have it like this. Look how it looks. Now we can choose all this and make it 0.5 maybe, or 2, or 5, and here we go. Look how it looks. And we leave it like this. Now we have finished the materials and the modeling. These two right here, we have basically imported them. Okay, let me show you how we did this. Go to Polyhaven. Inside Polyhaven, you can search for these two, pot plant and pot plant 1. Okay, go here and choose what resolution you want. I want 2K or 4K. Then choose what kind of file you want, FBX or blend. For me, I want to blend. Then download both of them. Okay, when you download them, you get both files. Then go to your project, then go to File and choose Append. Okay, then inside Append, you can choose the collections of these two, like just like we did with this. Okay, and basically this is it. Now we have these two inside our file, and they are already textured, so it is nice. Okay, and now we have finished this. I know that materials are very hard and very annoying, but they are like the beauty of modeling, like they are what give life to your scene. I hope you learned a lot, and in the next videos we will talk more about lighting, rendering, compositing, and animations. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and we are very close to finishing this series. See you next time.